Okay, well, I'm at the house now. No reason to check this out at the arena. This is the little Gamefisher that we bought, 15 horse outboard motor. Just kind of give you an all-around tour of what we've got here. Like you haven't seen an outboard before. Appears to be in decent shape. I'm going to dig into it just a little bit here, show you what I've done, what I plan to do today. Maybe we can just get it to fire off. That's all I'm really asking for. If it does fire off, then we're going to try to run it in a bucket of water or hook some water to it and run it for as long as we can. I'd like to get a 2 to 3 hour run time out of it just setting still so that I know what to expect when I put it on the boat. Let's get into it. Well, this is the motor with the cowl off. You can see what we got there. Most everything appears to work. You know, this, if I pull it hard enough, it will engage. The throttle control, it all seems to work. The fuel lines are shot. If you look down there, you can see to the left one that broke while I was adjusting them. I'm going to be replacing it. This brown line here, that appears to be where the motor was submerged some way. I'm not real sure what that indicates or what it is. It can't be good. The one thing that I did notice here, you notice how rusty that spark plug hex metal part of it is, indicating to me that it got in the water. Whenever I took that spark plug out, it came out by hand easy enough. There had been oil in the cylinder, but there was also a drop of water between the electrodes. I really don't think that indicates anything that I really want to jump up and down for joy about. But that's what we've got. The other spark plug is one that I had taken out so I could go get 2 new ones. That cylinder appears to be good. The motor does turn relatively free. I realize I've got the one spark plug out, but it's not requiring a whole lot of effort to turn it. Here in just a minute I'm going to replace the spark plugs, inject a little bit of fuel into the carburetor, and see what happens. Where are we here? It should be where you start this thing at. Let's see. Alright, we're going to pull the flywheel off. The bolt nut should already be a little bit loose. Some work I'd already been doing. Over here. Come off easy or no? Hammer time. Okay. I'm going to try to get this flywheel off. Pull up on it just a tad. There we go. Okie doke. Set this out of the way. Alrighty. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you straight up, this will be my first outboard motor to work on. I've worked on a lot of small lawnmower engines and stuff in my day, car engines, things like that. I'm really just hoping that things will pretty well be consistent across the board from one to the other with how to check things. So what my plan is I want to check continuity of all the parts involved in this system here. Be right back. Anyway, what I'm wanting to do is just make sure that I've got the same resistance through the coils, comparatively speaking. I want to check continuity through the contacts, make sure that they're actually making and breaking like they should. and the other wiring, make sure that there's continuity there. The first thing I'm going to start with, I'm going to try to get these wires off the point set here. It's going to be too big. And everything's kind of tied together and grounded, and if I leave it like that, I'm going to get a false reading, I'm afraid. I love little bitty nuts, bolts, and washers. They hide so easily. I know I don't lose them, so they got to be hiding from me. Okay, that brown wire is supposed to be going back to the kill switch. The red one here is coming from the coil. Come on, you can do it. And this little blue one goes over here to the condenser, capacitor. Get this one while we're here. Alright, got both of them. 2 for 2. Kill switch wire, coil wire, condenser wire. All removed. Wow, that just feels funny. Feels like it's spinning inside of that thing. Alright, let's set this thing for resistance. We'll set it over here. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Really didn't think about this part. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I'm set on 200 ohms on the meter. First things first, let's check this front coil here. Get my hands off, make sure we're not reading me. Okay, I am basically showing just 1 ohm. Sometimes it'll jump up to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. But about 1 ohm on that front one. On this back coil. We're about the same. 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the coils are good. They're both virtually identical for the purpose of what we're doing here. The ohm readings are good and clear. Now, we need to see about these contacts, points. See what they're doing here. So that one is showing actually more resistance than the... That won't work. Maybe that will. Showing the same as the coils there. Well, that's better. 1/2 an ohm. What do we read here? Okay, 0.5 lead to lead. .5 across that contact. This contact. Make sure I'm not touching anything else. I want this one closed. Let's see if we can spin that crankshaft a little bit. Make it easier for that contact to close. this one. Point 6, 0.5. I need to do a little more cleaning on that one. That one had a little bit of oxidation on it whenever I first started fooling with this. Used some fine sandpaper and got it cleaned up a little bit. Point 0.6 isn't too bad. Alrighty. Our capacitor check. Not getting anything on that one. This capacitor. Not really getting anything on it either. Interesting. Let's just make it a little easier for it to read something. No. I think we've identified the problem. So, where do you get condensers at for one of these puppies? Let me make a trip to AutoZone, see what I can find. There's one local. Let's see what they show. Before we quit though, one more check. The way this stop switch works, it actually shorts both wires together. Let's just check that out while we're here. Okay. Alrighty, that part seems to be good. We're down about 0.7 ohms. So, it appears that we have two bad condensers on this puppy. I'm going to make a trip to AutoZone. See if they got anything that even looks remotely like this. Hopefully it won't be too expensive, but if that's it and we got a running motor, hey, great day here in Goshen. Be back soon. Alright, well I made it back from AutoZone about an hour ago. I've been out here trying to figure out how to get these new capacitors mounted, or condensers mounted. You see, I was able to mount them here to the coils. I have made sure that the flywheel will clear. I'll do that again just before I put them back together. This is what the little condenser looks like that goes with it. It has a little pocket that it fits down into here, one on each side, and a screw that holds it in place. These are a larger diameter than it is, so it wasn't able to fit there. I tried to reposition it all kinds of ways and use the existing mounting hole, but no matter what I did, it impacted the indention part of the flywheel with the magnet in it, and it just wasn't functional there. I mounted one of these a while ago to the flywheel and it worked fine. It cleared as I spun it around by hand. I'm going to do that again now. Let's just make sure that it's still working like it should. Okay, we're going to give him a tug. Not much of a tug. I don't know what happened there. That technique just doesn't work, and I don't like having that short rope, or long rope hanging out rather. We know we were getting a spark a while ago.
Well, hell. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later. It's just kind of been not acting right. That's kind of why I was using the rope on the upper pulley. That bottom pulley just broke. That's about 60 bucks on eBay. So, yet again, another reason why I'm not doing a whole lot of preliminary stuff on this motor. Nothing else, I have fuel dripping out of the carburetor for some reason. It's acting like it's spinning a little bit longer. Maybe it's because I don't have the transmission engaged anymore. I'm willing to put a little more effort into it now. I think I even smell a little bit of fuel in the air. Burning fuel. Exhaust. Okay, let's get the rope wound around it. Here goes nothing. Okay, I'm satisfied that it will run now. Worst case scenario, I'll have to buy another carburetor for it. We'll see about that as it goes on. There could be some kind of other issue in there with the reed. I'm not real sure, but it appears to be working okay. Take it one step at a time. That's it for tonight.